Anchors up, sales at full. Welcome to the Sloopcast. How you doing today, Kyle?
Doing all right, Jared. How are you?
Doing good. Do. Apparently, I can't talk. But new tradition, good tradition.
No,
And yes,
taking a week off will.
Yeah,
taking a week off will do that for you.
Yeah. We're gonna blame it on that. But I will say this. I do promise this is the first beer of the day. No, I mean seriously, it is.
There's no way to prove it or it or not to prove it. So
well, my lawyer just entered the chat, so you can talk to him about it if you feel like you need further proof. You can't prove it wasn't or was or wasn't. Hearsay, Your Honor. I am defending you. I forgot what side I was on.
All right. A little bit different Collegiate Chaos episode here. Only 4 games to cover. Only 4 games here. And yeah, we'll just go ahead and start in order of when the
collegiate lack of chaos.
I mean, technically, half of the games were where the underdog did win. If you want to be, raise up the glasses there. If you want to be technical.
Yeah. Well, not either of the ones that would have been fun. Not either of the ones that would have been true chaos. We went. Sure. Well, I'm not. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like true chalk. We didn't go total chalk, but like,
yeah.
It's no huge surprises. Two small surprises, at least for me. I was expecting I was pretty 50-50 on Bama, Oklahoma. But I was expecting a Texas A&M win. Personally speaking. But Kyle said he wanted to start somewhere, and where are we starting, Kyle? God, we take 1 week off and I am a mess.
We're just going to start with the in order of when the games happen. So let's start with Alabama and Oklahoma.
Okay.
We've said it for a number of years, and it still holds true, Jared. It is hard to beat a team 2 times in the same season.
Sure.
And Alabama comes up with a win 34-24, and I think like me and a lot of people saw the score 17-0, and it was like, holy shit, Alabama's hot garbage. Like they have the past 3 games at the end of the season here. Like, oh, here we go. Should Alabama have been in? And they had I think the first quarter and a half only had 28 yards, something like that, of total offense. It was hot garbage of Alabama, but credit to them and credit to Oklahoma turning the ball over. Alabama stormed back, took advantage of all those turnovers. How many turnovers did they have? Oh, it was just 1? I felt like it was a lot more than that. I guess the bad punts and all that helped out too.
Right.
But yeah, it is amazing looking at this, Jared, how Alabama won this game, where Oklahoma beat them in every major category on this offensive stats. Threw for 70 more yards, rushed more, which both teams were absolute garbage rushing the ball. Alabama was 2 for 12 on 3rd downs, while Oklahoma was 7 for 18. But yeah, Alabama scored 34 points.
A lot of this, if you just look at the stats and try and reconcile that with the actual result, it doesn't make a lot of sense. You think, as you said, Oklahoma wins all the major stat categories. 3rd downs, 4th downs, yards. Time of possession. The turnover, however, Alabama wins by not committing any. Return yards and, probably punting yards, although I don't have that statistic. Oh, yes, I do. Oklahoma only punts the ball one time, but it was for 17 yards, which is basically another turnover. So you look a little deeper into the stats, you start to see what happened. But yeah, it doesn't make they had a let's see, where is it here? Yards per play. Both teams identically 4.8. Both teams identically 4.8. You wouldn't necessarily translate both teams having what is a pretty low yards per play average into a 34-24 football game. A peculiar game all around. I don't know. Listen, I'm just going to say it. I think both of these teams look like crap.
They did. And I'm not worried about, I was not worried about either team. And then after this game, no. I'm not worried about Alabama.
No,
this is not the same Alabama. This is not the same Alabama in years past. They ran the ball, Jared. I'm reading the stat right here. 25 times. For 28 yards. 1.1 yard per rush. How many drops did Alabama have?
I don't have drops in front of me.
Let's.
I don't know that.
I don't think I can. Yeah, I don't think I can easily
felt like 43.
Get that.
It's one of those games, and heck, I do this all the time with Ohio State games too, where I go back and I look at the stats, like in preparation for the show after watching it, and it's just like, oh, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Oh, really? That is not at all how I thought that was going to look. And this game was like, to steal your phrase, Esquire, one big Mandela effect. But if we're just trying to vibe check the game, and I think just as a general vibe check between watching the game and looking at the stats, I think both of these teams are exceedingly mediocre, and it was really just a competition to see who got to lose to Indiana. Because I don't think either of these teams are going to beat Indiana.
No. The way Indiana's defense has been, and the way that Alabama has not been able to run the ball. Yeah, I feel very confident.
Bama's not going to be
sitting
able to
here recording today, Jared, that Indiana would win easily here.
Indiana's not going to run the ball at all against Oklahoma. Neither of these teams could run the ball against each other.
Yeah, neither. 1.1 yard Alabama ran, and Oklahoma didn't do any better at 1.7 yards as well too per run. Yeah, not worried at all here.
Assuming Indiana was unable to watch the game as a team due to God, I'm really glad my mind reads slightly ahead of my mouth. Prospects of getting to play either of the teams. It's they'll watch the film and they'll do what they have to do every hour or so while watching the film, but yeah, they'll be fine. I was dying hoping you weren't going to catch it in time. Nah, my mind is always one or two words ahead of my mouth. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. Before we go into the next game, Jared, 6.5 points is the current spread. Indiana over Alabama right now. That's a nice number right there. 6.5.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I think the uniforms are worth a few points there.
Sure.
I think that probably should be more like 9.5.
That's what the Ohio State is over the next game we're going to talk about here. Miami.
Are we doing that one next? Shouldn't we save one of the games that we should actually talk about for the second half of the show so people don't turn it off? Second.
I was just going in order of when the games are playing, but I mean, if we want to go a different route, that's fine.
Listen, and I'm just saying, if we cover the two games that weren't total blowouts at the top of the show, no one's going to listen past the ad break.
All right, fine. We will. All right, Tulane and Ole Miss then.
Okay. All right.
Let's talk about that one then. I'm pulling up the stat real quick here. Yeah, 41-10. Not even close. Not even close here. Tulane scored or put up a bunch of yards in that second half there. I'm trying to find the exact numbers here. They put up a bunch of numbers in the second half there, and it just didn't matter. 41-10 here, and I had no question that Ole Miss was going to lose this game here, and they just took care of business. I don't know really much more to say than that.
See, this is why we didn't do the two premier games before the ad break. The two non-blowouts before, because this would have been the entire second half of the show. Of just being like, okay, don't really know what to say here now.
Yeah, I think the big discussion then, Jared, and you're going to get a lot of opinions both ways here. With the lack of showing from the two non-Power 4 conference teams here. Yeah. You're going to have a lot of people saying top 12, that's it.
Sure.
This is why just look at this game. Look at Tulane. Look at JMU. You can look at last year too. Like there was definitely teams that you thought like they deserved to get in because they were like blowouts last year as well.
So a couple thoughts on that. One, I think just the opportunity of having a monumental upset is so huge that it's worth it. Just to have the possibility of an Oklahoma losing to a Boise, just to have that opportunity is worth it.
Just a refresher. Last year, this is 2 years in a row now. Last year, Penn State ended up being both of them. Penn State beats SMU 38-10, and then Penn State beats Boise State 31-14. So I mean, it's 2 years in a row. You can really look at it and like, should they not next year? But I see both sides of it. I'm honestly torn, Jared.
Right.
About everyone loves a good Cinderella story. Everyone loves a good Boise State Statue of Liberty play against Oklahoma. Everybody loves that kind of story. But that's not what the college football playoff is. It's the best 12 teams in going at it for a national title. And we just when you have the 12 best teams, sorry, like JMU and Tulane is not it. They're not it.
I'm going to say I don't like that there are... Okay. SMU, to go back to last year.
Yeah, they won the ACC.
They won the
ACC. Yeah.
Like that's... That would have happened no matter what. And if you're mad that Boise got a bye week, or that there were two group of fours, or whatever we call them now, in the
ACC sucks.
In the playoffs now, in both cases, simply blame the ACC. The ACC
even last year, like
not,
the Big 12 didn't get any teams in last year.
Yes, they did.
Oh no, Arizona State did.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So just blame the ACC. Simply blame the ACC. That's it. We don't need to complicate it past that. And I want a group of 5, group of 4, whatever they're called now. I want one of those teams in. I don't want 2 of those teams in. I'll be honest. I don't want 2 of those teams in. So the ACC, maybe you should just consider not sucking. Like, genuinely speaking, has anyone considered that the ACC should just stop sucking? Because I think that's the answer to that problem. And I tell you what, I have a second. If we call this a problem, I know how this problem will fix itself in about 5 years, but we'll save that for when we run out of things to talk about in regards to JMU and Oregon.
Sure. I think of all of the 4 games, this one here, like, I didn't learn anything about Ole Miss. I didn't really learn anything here. No. So Ole Miss plays
Georgia.
Oh, who do they play?
Georgia. Yeah. So Georgia should destroy them, I would imagine.
Georgia versus Ole Miss. What would you think that line is right now, Jared?
I have no clue. It's hard to gauge because it's Ole Miss without Lane Kiffin, and I don't know how Vegas is enumerating.
I think
that.
It opened at 6.5. It is at 7.5 now.
Okay, I mean,
as we're recording.
Yeah, sure. I like it much better at 7.5 than 6.5, but I think I'm still taking Georgia there. Sure.
All right, we're going to take our quick ad break here, Jared, and we'll get to the other 2 games here. TheSleuthcast.com is your go-to link for anything and everything Sleuthcast related. You can find our YouTube page, our Discord, our merch store, our 7071. If you start to see more of our gifts in some of your searches in your social media or in your texts, and you want to find more of those that Jared creates, and a lot of them are spectacular and just well done by Jared, we have a gifts page. So if you want to check out all of those great gifts, you can find that over at our website at thesleuthcast.com. We'll take our first ad break, Jared, our only ad break, and we'll be right back.
Esquire says, like, they got outsized fame starring in a comic book movie that was always going to do well regardless of their talent. Then they thought they could do a film festival award circuit movie and lost the studio $1 billion. Oh, Penn State. He's talking about Penn State. Penn State feels like a B-list Hollywood star that got super addicted to heroin, comparing last year to this year. Listen, yeah, it's like, I don't know. Penn State's Penn State. That's a deeper subject than I think we're going to spend time on today, I think. All right, Kyle. Should we save Miami and Texas A&M?
Yeah, let's talk about the other one here. James Madison in Oregon.
Yeah.
Just absolute dominance by Oregon, and they let up the gas at halftime there. Like they scored on scored on, was it every possession in the first half? I'm pretty sure that was the case. If I try to quickly go to Oregon, go to drives there. Touchdown.
Yeah.
And then they threw the interception in their last full series in the first half there. And then they just, you could tell they just let it up.
Sure.
Let up after their first possession in the second half there. So, I mean, it is what it is. We knew how talented Oregon is. I was just a little surprised of how much JMU was able to put up yardage, but in the second half. But again, it's Oregon's backups. But should they have let up that much in the second half?
But and how much of that was really actually against the backups? And yeah, in the end, it doesn't really matter. Like they very clearly took their foot off the pedal.
And James Madison kept their starters in, because you look at the stats, and Barnett was throwing the ball still. He threw for just under 300 yards. And their running back, Wayne Knight, which I think he's a pretty darn good running back. He rushed for over 6.5 yards. And that wasn't just because he got
I assume you mean
per carry. And
okay.
6.5 per carry. Yeah.
Okay.
And it wasn't like he got them all in the second half. Like in the first half there, like he opened up with a 24-yarder. He got a couple other breaks there. And then in the middle of the game there. So the middle 8 is like what we like to call. It seemed like Oregon was able to hold them down, and then Wayne got some other yards towards the end there. So it was kind of spread out there. I mean, Wayne Knight might actually be Batman.
when it comes down, I mean, the JMU guys were going to stay in. Like, for a lot of these guys, This was their opportunity to get some film against quote unquote real competition, whether it be, trying to get film for the NFL or film for the transfer portal, which is a thing now. They were always going to play all the way through.
Yep.
That just kind of is what it is. The game ends up looking a lot closer than it could have been had Oregon tried harder later. But whatever. Oregon has a tough road ahead of them. I think probably the weakest. I think they probably have the cleanest path. I'm actually curious, Kyle, what's the numbers on Oregon versus Texas Tech? Because I do think of the 3 bye weeks, Texas Tech is probably the weakest. But
what would you think it is?
Damn near even. I'm gonna say it's this.
It opened up 1.5 favorite for Texas Tech.
Yeah, damn near even.
And now it is 1.5 for Oregon.
Yeah, damn near even. I mean,
and there's one here who is this one here. There's one better. I can't read the font there. It just says PK. Pick 'em. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I guess I nailed that one. But yeah, I don't know. It's Oregon's got their sights on the future. I don't blame them for taking their foot. We need to get past. Agreed.
We need to get past this idea that every single football game in college football needs to be a blowout or you did bad.
Yes.
That every single football game, unless you're Notre Dame, needs to be a showcase.
But Jared, you got to have at least some pulse on offense, though. You have to have some pulse on offense. And that's not what this Miami Texas A&M game was. This was this was like Alabama. The first game and a half, or not game and a half, the first quarter and a half, all game.
Both teams.
It was just both teams. It was just hot garbage. The only good thing was Mark Fletcher was running the ball really well. He averaged over 10 yards a carry. That was it. Beck looked like shit. The special teams for everybody was shit. Like
I'll say this.
It was just a crappy game.
I say if you're looking for any sort of storyline in this, it's Malachi Toney. fumbling the ball, Texas A&M not capitalizing on the turnover, then Tony getting the punt return, and then getting the game-winning touchdown, the only touchdown in the game. So as far as special teams, Tony had a very key punt return. But from a field goal perspective, my God. Yeah. My God. There's
you had you had a muffed handle, and then you had a block. Like, oof.
Right. So this is a game of essentially turnovers, one way or the other. It's just Texas A&M not delivering. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not delivering like when it mattered. Because again, you look at the stat lines, and it looks like, as long as you don't look at the turnovers, which, you gotta look at the turnovers. But like Miami's 3 for 12 on third downs. Texas A&M 8 for 18. Total yardage, to Texas A&M. Passing yards goes to Texas A&M. Rushing yards to Miami. By a long shot, actually. Key here, though, red zones. Texas A&M gets in the red zone 3 times, only scores once, and it's a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
Key here, 2 interceptions. Key here is Malachi Tony, true freshman, seemingly blowing the day for Miami, then turning around and saving the day for Miami. I think he's there's like a freshman of the year award, right? Isn't there?
I don't know.
Did he should have won it if he didn't. I'll say that much. Because they somehow didn't give it. If I remember correctly, there's a bit of outrage in BuckeyeNation. Yeah, it is named after Sean Alexander. That's right, Esquire. Because somehow Smith didn't win it last year. And I remember this is kind of maybe the first time I had heard of the Sean Alexander Award because of the outrage in Columbus over Smith not winning it last year. If it's even been awarded yet.
Colin Simmons won it last year.
Who won it this year?
They haven't announced it.
Okay.
They haven't announced it yet.
Hasn't announced it.
No. But here's the thing. Yeah, you mentioned Jared. Where was it here? Texas A&M was 8 for 18 on third downs. 2 of those third down conversions led to turnovers for Texas A&M as well. So it was a key. It was just turnovers
and red zones
were the name of the game. Yep.
Whenever you see one team outgain the other team and still lose, red zones and turnovers.
Yeah,
that's what it comes down to.
2 for 3, 1 for 3. Yeah. Again, I'm not worried about Miami here. Miami obviously going off to Dallas, to Jerry's World, to take on your Ohio State Buckeyes. And from what I've seen here, I'm not worried about Beck. We talked about it before. Which Carson Beck are we getting? Are we getting the one
problem,
that's
you could get the good Carson Beck? And also, for the record, which Carson Beck is showing up is not a game-by-game analysis. It's a play-by-play analysis, so you could get both.
It is, yeah.
But yeah, I think everything for the most part, and I really did expect Texas A&M to win. And I didn't have a strong read on Bama versus Alabama either way, so I wasn't going to be surprised there. But I'm also not shocked that Texas A&M won. But
Beck's longest completion.
That Miami won, but I did expect Texas A&M to win.
Beck's longest completion, Jared, was 20 yards. Only 20 yards. He had the ball. He only threw the ball more than 5 yards.
By the way, I promised to tease
5 times. 5 times.
I promised to tease going into the ad break about why I think all the playoff problems are going to fix themselves in about 5 years. ACC grant of rights expires in 5 years. ACC won't live through that. ACC will no longer exist. And I think that there's or at least not in any way that is recognizable now. You know, kind of like how the Pac-12 technically still exists, but does it?
Yeah.
Even next year, does it? So the ACC will fall apart, and you could very well see a playoff system that is moving towards, especially if the Big 12, you know, what's left of the Big 12 gets picked apart by the SEC and the Big 10. And who's left over in the ACC, you really could honestly just see a 6-team tournament that is the Big 10 playoffs, and the SEC playoffs, and then the winner of that plays for the national title. And I honestly think you see that. You know, maybe you don't see that exactly by 2030, but
it's leading
maybe
that way.
2032. Like, so like, just don't worry about it. Like, we're in a temporary liminal holding space right now. This 12-team playoff is a temporary thing until the Big 10 and the SEC decide to separate and be their own thing, which is inevitable. Yep. It's just a matter of time. All right. That's where I think the playoffs headed.
And I believe I said it already, but I did the Vegas lines for every team. Well, let me see if they changed it.
In the last 30 minutes? State.
Well, I looked at that first. That was what it opened up as. Let's see if it changed here. No, it stayed the same. Ohio State still 9.5.
I'd take Ohio State up to 14 easily.
I think this is the lowest total of the four games here. The Ohio State Miami game is the lowest over under, and it's set at 42.5.
So that
means Miami's not scoring.
Yeah. So what's the Vegas math there? 42 points minus 9. Let's make it 10 for the sake of easy math. Which, why am I trying to talk through math while recording? That's never a good idea. Can someone who's not talking, I can't talk and do mental math at the same time. I need someone else to do it, which is why I'm currently vamping for Kyle while Kyle is doing it. Or maybe someone in the chat's doing it.
It's like 25 to... What was that? 25 to...
Oh boy, Kyle.
17? Is that right? 25, 17. Yeah, it's like 25 to 17 game. Or 26-17. Depends on the half point.
Yeah. The half point. Miami's not scoring 17 on Ohio State. Let's just get that out of the way. I'll say this. I love the over-under in that I love the under.
Yes.
It kind of just depends upon how much Ohio State can score, you know, and it feels after the Indiana game, maybe a little more tepid on Ohio State's offense than maybe I was before. And I think Miami does have some really talented players on their defense. But I'm just throwing this out there right now. There's zero chance in hell that Miami scores 17 points on Ohio State. Yeah. So I really like the under on that. If Miami beats Ohio State, it'll be Miami's defense that beats Ohio State. Like, let me say it like that. And they did just hold Texas A&M to 3 points. Now, how much of that's on Texas A&M? I'll leave that up to you, the listener, to decide for yourself. But it'll have to be Miami's defense that wins this game, because they tap out at like 13, 14 points offensively.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool. All right, I think that is all 4 games. Anything else, Jared, before we end the episode?
No, I think we're good. Kyle, do you have anything in Kyle's corner?
Oh, geez. Well, we're not going to talk about basketball. I mean, could have, but oh gosh.
What about recruiting?
Yeah. There's been some movement here. I know recently, it was a few days ago, Ohio State did line. I gotta remember his name. I think it's Cypher. Linebacker.
Yes.
Quentin Cypher.
Backwoods. Your current backwoods. Backwoods.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's from Millbrook High School in Raleigh there. Number 11 linebacker in the country, 4-star linebacker. And also, Jared, as here in a few days, we expect Legend Bay to sign for Ohio State once he officially turns 18.
Yeah, that's a whole story that we're not going to get into right now, but he did, or at least someone did, sign for him to go to Tennessee. That Tennessee has released that. I always want to say NIL now, but it's the NLI. That was signed and sent to Tennessee. Now, was he the one that did it? Maybe not. I don't know. But someone did it. But Tennessee has released him from it. And in a few days, he's not going to need anyone's permission to sign to Ohio State. So weird circumstances, but I already talked more about it than I wanted to. So, and I don't know how much of that first part's true. That's why I'm being vague about it. But, he's going to get what he wants, and he's going to be an adult in a few days, and he's going to get what he wants, and that's good for him and good for Ohio State. All right. And of course, as Kyle pointed out, I think Cypher's a huge pickup for Ohio State.
Yeah.
He's 2027, of course. Bay is 2026.
Yeah.
All right.
Correct.
Is that it for Kyle's Corner?
That's it. That is it. We will catch everybody a week from now.
Yeah.
And we will do a Know Your Enemy episode of the Sugar Bowl here.
Unless, of course, you're
not the Sugar Bowl. I'm sorry, the Cotton Bowl. Sorry, the Cotton Bowl.
And by the way, that week from now, if you are on the regular podcast feed, however, if you're a Patreon subscriber, we'll actually be recording that live in the Discord server on Tuesday, and I'll be releasing it to the Patreon server much earlier. So we're going to be recording that one ahead of time because of holiday travels and whatnot. But so super early access for our Patreon supporters on that one. All right. Threw in an extra couple plugs at the end there just as a bonus. But tonight's ending music will be brought to you by a band out of Columbus. They are called SlimFit. So with all of that being said, I'd like to encourage everyone to drink local beer, listen to local music, and of course, support your local podcasters. Once again, this is SlimFit.